when faith is matured, a man of faith no longer lives and sees the physical things around him. He sees them physically with his eyes, but he pays less attention to them. A man that is really a man of faith, by the time his faith is truly matured, that individual will begin to see more of the spirit realities, and he will be more conscious of the spirit realities than is more conscious of the material, physical, and impossible conditions and situations around him. When a man of faith grows in the things of faith, when you are used to seeing God, walking with God, you day after day begin to feel yourself more like Enoch. Enoch walked with God so much, so well, that he did not walk in the real physical world anymore. He started walking and fellowshipping with God directly, being here on the earth. And his fellowship was so real and strong that the speed of the distance and the speed of his relationship with God, his faith and his spirit traveled so far that the speed of it made him to become invisible in the physical realm. The distance he has traveled in the spirit made his body to just vanish. It was at the speed of light. You know, when anything travels at the speed of light, it ceases to be visible. It ceases to be visible. And that is what happened. That is what happened to Enoch. So people who are not even at the level of Enoch, but who are always and are used to living in the spirit realm, even though they are still doing things here in the body, but the spirit realm owes more authority to them than the physical things they see, than the material physical world. Even though they still count with the material world, they are bringing things from the spirit world, but the things they are seeing in the spirit world is more real to them. It's just like me now. As much as I love people, but the reality of God every day is stronger to me than the reality of any human being around me. I even feel God and his presence stronger than I feel the presence of my children or my wife. I feel the presence of God stronger than I feel the presence of any human being around me. So when faith matures, a man of faith no longer lives for the things of today and tomorrow. So when I talk in our church about the fact that you don't live for family, you don't live for children, you don't live for anything like that, people kind of think I'm crazy or I am missing it, or I am, especially when I talk about death. When I talk about death, and with yearning and with desire, with passion, with love, and with desire to die as fast as possible, many members of my church come around and say, hey, Pastor, no, don't talk about death like that, as if death is something bad. They talk as if death is something horrible, as if death is something to be feared. But really, when you begin to live in the spirit, and when you begin to, when you fellowship in the spirit so much, your desire will be more to live there and remain there in the spirit rather than living here on earth. The things of this earth begin to have less significance to you. Even though you are still living here and you are still implementing and bringing to pass, the things that you are seeing in the spirit, you are still bringing them to the earth. But at the same time, the things you feel in the spirit, the things that you see in the spirit, they are more real to you. Like for me, I told the other guy, I told you people the other day, that the presence of God to me, not his presence. I don't need to wait for it to feel his presence. God, this realization of God, the consciousness of God, for me, is so strong that it's like my skin. It's like God is my skin. Just like my skin covers me, all of me. So also I'm feeling myself covered in God every minute, every second. But I can't see my wife cover me like that every minute, every second. I only see her from the distance. My children, they don't cover me every minute, every second. I only see them from the distance. But God covers me every minute, every day, every second. It's like I'm in him. So that reality, of course, makes it easier for you to take your decisions based on the things that you are saying that others are not saying, rather than the things that others are saying, and that is forcing them, that is pressurizing them, that is pushing them to live by what they say. But you are saying something much more advanced. You are saying something much more perfect. You are saying something much more, impeccable. So that is what you are talking about. And that's why when people are really deep in the things of faith, sometimes it's like they are living in a world of illusion. Sometimes it's like they are living in a world of illusion. Sometimes it's like they are talking of things that are not real. Well, it's because to them, it gets to a place you lose it's just like Paul. Paul was always talking about, he doesn't know either the thing he was talking about was taking place here in the flesh or it was taking place in the spirit. It was so close. He was walking so closely with the spirit realm that he even lost the demarcation. He didn't even know if these things were happening in the spirit or they were happening in the physical realm. He was always in the spirit like that. I mean, amazing. And that is done by faith, you see. That is done by faith. You don't need to do meditation like the Eastern people do. You don't need to fly, Australia flying or some fly from your spirit or from your soul and go and meditate. No. This is just by your spirit eye and by your spirit man living by faith, seeing the realities of God, walking with God, through fellowshipping with God, through relationship with God, through constant relationship with God. It develops your consciousness so much that the consciousness of your spirit man is so strong that is stronger than the consciousness of your five senses, your five senses. And that is why that's where we should all be. That's where we should all be. And that is what it means to live a superhuman life here on earth. And that is what it means to superimpose yourself on the realities of the earth. That's what it means that they that come from above are above all. So that is, so some of the people that we are reading about in Hebrews chapter 11, they got to that place. They got to a place whereby the things that they are seeing ahead of them, they know that for them to see, some of them, they are trying to bring them down. They are trying to bring those invisible things that they are seeing in the spirit down to the earth. But there are some of things they are seeing in the spirit. They have seen so much in the spirit, and they have seen so far in the spirit that they know the only way for them to touch those things they are seeing in the spirit is to leave this body. That the only thing that is limiting them from seeing what and from getting what they are seeing in the spirit is to die. So it is at that point that death to them is an achievement, because they have to conquer, they have to get a hold of what they are saying. And the only way to get a hold of that thing they are saying is to leave this body. It's an amazing life. It's an amazing life. And these people are just men of faith. And all of us can be like that. I mean, if I, a small boy from the village of Idomila, I used to think that Christianity was just a white man's religion because all the men of God that I knew at the point were only white men. And I was saying, oh God, I don't know if this is for us or if God, maybe God is partial. That time there were no Babs Adeboye and, there were not too many people like that. But now, I just see that is simple, that is ordinary now. To be a friend of God is a reality for everybody. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. So what I'm saying is that if this could be possible for someone like me that was thinking that Christianity was not even for the black man, it should be it should be a reality for you too. It should be a reality for you. So these men of faith, they look in the distance through the eyes of faith. They see in the spirit. They see the mind of God, the heart of God. They see the distant land, the distant territory, the distant, cities that are not built by the human hands. They see a land afar off. They see a country afar off. But before you get there to see afar off into 2,000 years, into 1 million years, into 2 million years, before you get to a place where you are seeing afar off into God, into the kingdom of God, and the reality of heaven is stronger than the reality of the earth, you have to start from somewhere. So you have to start from somewhere. Again, so where do you start from to be able to be a man of faith that lives to that degree? You start from the definition of faith. You remember the definition of faith in this verse 1, Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So you must start by having a dream. You must start by having a hope. You must start by having a vision. You must start by you having a dream. So you are starting to see your aspirations, your goals, your vision, your mission, your calling, your gifting, the reality of that you want to see in the future. But you start by you seeing into the distance into seeing something, maybe even seeing a product that you want to produce, maybe seeing another product that you want to produce. The ability of seeing by faith into the spirit realm, in something that is not yet there. It could be your dream, it could be your vision, it could be a physical thing, it could be a product, it could be the ability of seeing through your spirit realm, through your eyes of faith. That is where you start from. So you start with a vision, you start with a hope, you start with a dream, you start with a mission, we start with a goal that you set before you that has not yet been accomplished. Now, if you only have a target or a goal, if you only stop at that and you say, okay, I believe and I'm praying that this goal will come to pass, I'm praying that this vision will come to pass, it will not come to pass. It will just be like a dream. It will just be like a dream. It will remain a dream. But when you put that goal in front of you, when you set that vision in front of you, you must do something else, which we have already taught you about. You must make sure that you convert that idea into understanding. You must know and understand everything about what you are saying until it becomes wisdom, until it becomes a picture, So you must be able to see the picture. That is the maturity of an idea. When an idea or information or a word has grown in you and has become a picture, that is when that word is matured in you. So when you are now seeing in color or in colors the things that you are aspiring to go to, it is easier for you to approach it. It is easier for you to walk and move towards it. It is then easier for you to walk. So that's where you start. But that is still not faith. Even when you see it in color, that is still not enough. Faith is when seeing it causes you to move into action. So that is faith. Faith is only not at the stage when you see it, that is faith, but at the stage when the thing you are saying is inspiring you so much that you cannot sit in a place again, and you begin to act and begin to move towards what you are saying. Then now you have faith. So it is not enough for you to have a goal or a target in front of you. It is not enough for you to have a target or a vision. But when the vision is so clear to you, when you know that you can do it, that it begins to energize you, energizing you, so much. It has energized you so much that your feet cannot keep on standing in one place, and your bottom cannot, cannot keep on just sitting in one place. You have to stand up and begin to pursue the vision that you see. When you begin to pursue that vision that you see, and begin to actually implement and produce evidence, produce substance of the thing that you have seen over there, then that is the confirmation that you have faith. So that it is that confidence of what you see that you are going to get into it, and the ability to continue pursuing it and bringing it to pass. That is when we know we have faith. Because any kind of faith that you say you have without action is dead. It's not faith. It's not faith. It's dead. What makes faith faith is the action that you are adding to implementing it. It is the action that you are adding to implementing it. It is the evidence that you are producing that is telling us that you believe in that thing. It is the substance that you are producing that, what you are seeing in the spirit realm. What are you producing here on the earth to make us sure? See what we are seeing here, that you believe in what you are pursuing is the evidence of your faith. So that's where you begin. So first of all, you begin by seeing your own faith, your own goal, your own vision. You begin to see the reality of it. Then you begin to see it in pictures. Then once you begin to see it in picture, you can then sketch it down or write a project of it or a business plan of it, and then you begin to build it or move towards it. Once you begin to do that, then you have to continuously walk like that towards something all the time, always bringing something from in the invisible realm to the visible realm. That is what is called living by faith. And that is what the Bible says when it says the just shall live by faith. So as a just, you have to come, it has to, just like we live by oxygen, so also you must live by faith. Living by faith therefore means that every second you must be striving towards bringing something from the invisible world to the physical world. You must always be moving towards bringing something to actualization and in the real world. You must be producing constantly some evidence, some evidence and some substance to show us that you are pursuing after something that you only are seeing that we are not seeing. So, but when you do that long enough, you begin to see far enough, to the extent that, it becomes your second nature to just be constantly living for something new, to constantly be bringing out something from the invisible world into the visible realm. It becomes your second nature. You just begin to draw out from the spirit realm into physical. When you are so used to drawing that is when you eventually get to a place whereby the reality of the things that you are seeing over there, people are thinking you are living in delusion, but you are seeing them, they are so real to you. The reality of those things that you are seeing out there, they supersede, they overwhelm even the realities of the things that you see here. And that is the way to live. That is the best way to live. You remember 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 18 says, these people who have gotten to this place of seeing the invisible and of making the invisible realm more real to them than the physical realm, they are the ones who are really living. Because the truth is that according to that 2 Corinthians 4:18, that everything we see anyway, everything that is already visible is temporal. Everything that we already see, that is already, those are past tense. Everything is past tense, John. Now, the thing you need to do is to live by not the things that are already temporal, that has already past tense, but to live by the things that are in the future. And it is only those things that are invisible, that are not seen, that are permanent, that are forever. That is why when the people get to a place, when they begin to see things that are invisible, they know that is what is permanent. And they know they themselves are temporal because they are visible. As long as you are visible, you are temporal. As long as anything you are doing is visible, is temporal. So they would rather prefer to live the temporary body and the temporary life here and join in the eternity where everything is there for life and eternity. If you have been watching our videos and maybe you enjoy them, maybe you don't enjoy them, but still, we need you to help us spread the word. And for that to happen, we only need you to take 5 little steps. Please help us spread this word by liking the video. Then, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We also need you to press the notification button, and the way to do that is to click on the bell. You see the bell there? Click on it. Then, of course, leave your comments. Let's know what you're thinking about each video. And finally, we need you to go and share the word. Share this video on your Facebook timeline, on your Instagram, and every other platform that you have. All right? Let's win the world for Christ. Thank you so much. Peace.